I saw a photo of myself yesterday on my camera roll. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I look like a fat slob. Like, I just look terrible. Has it affected my sex life or my performance? I would say yes, it has. The whole purpose of me going to Ibiza for a full send with my friends is for me to then come away and make a decision myself whether I want to continue having alcohol in my life or not. This is the last video that I'll put out on this sober streak. I'm sure there'll be another sober streak to come. Right folks, so in exactly 2 days time, I will be 200 days sober, which for me is honestly quite crazy. I will be in Ibiza, surrounded by my best friends, about to have the best weekend of my life. And the reason it's going to be the best weekend of my life is because this time I actually deserve it. I've been working my ass off for exactly 7 months, and I haven't gone to any parties, I haven't drank any alcohol, I haven't got fucked up or sent it. I have literally been a good boy who has been grinding in every way possible. I've fixed my mental health, I've fixed my physical health, I've been working on mindset, I've been journaling, I've been meditating, I've been doing breath work, I've been eating a much cleaner diet. I've pretty much transformed my life in so many ways, in terms of relationships as well. I've met so many new friends. I've massively improved my relationship with my girlfriend Cindy. And yeah, everything in my life is now on a upward trajectory. And it's pretty crazy to think that in 6 months, that's all it really takes. And when I say I'm 200 days sober, I'm actually closer to being 7 months sober, because unfortunately I did the whole of December sober, and then I had a few drinks, a few beers on New Year's Eve, which honestly I massively regret. Like, I really wish I didn't have them. And now, before I go this weekend to Ibiza, I just want to talk about my experiences whilst my brain and head and memory and focus is just clean. And like, I feel like my thoughts are, I don't know, my brain feels so sharp right now. Like, I feel the best I've ever felt in my life, and I'm about to turn 31. So I think that says a lot. I've also been doing a lot of reading as well. I feel like my memory's improved. There's so many things that have just completely changed. I feel like I look completely different as well in comparison. I saw a photo of myself yesterday on my camera roll. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I look like a fat slob. Like, I just look terrible. So it's really, really crazy. And like I said, it hasn't even taken me a year. It's took like half a year to see all these massive improvements throughout my life. Today, I'm sat with Fabi, who's a good friend of mine, and he's also in the Creator Club. He reached out to me on Instagram in January, I think it was, asking if I needed any help with videos. And he's currently in Valencia. I'm in Madrid, so he took a train and he's been helping me film some content over the last couple of days. And we've just been chilling, working, vibing, hitting the gym pretty hard. So life is good. So I asked on Instagram today for you guys to ask me some questions about what it's been like, because I hope that my sober journey has inspired a lot of you. And I hope that you guys, when you see me drinking a beer at the weekend, don't bombard me with messages. A few people already have, oh, you're going to regret it, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And honestly, the whole purpose of me going to Ibiza for a full send with my friends is for me to then come away and make a decision myself whether I want to continue having alcohol in my life or not. Like, maybe I'll really not enjoy it. Like, I feel like I've transformed and matured so much as a person over the last 6 months, so there's a chance that I might not enjoy it. I might not get that same kind of hit dopamine, serotonin releases what I used to from partying and drinking and getting fucked up. Or I might be like, okay, I had a really good weekend and I'm gonna allow myself to do that every so often, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So this is the whole purpose of me going and having a good time this weekend and having a few beers, is that I want to test myself to see, is this something that I can control, that I want to allow back into my life, or is it something that I just want to continue cutting out? So please don't judge me. I've done 6 to 7 months. I honestly massively encourage anyone who's watching this to also do the same. I absolutely guarantee it will transform your life in every single way, 100%. First of all, the first reason that I went sober was because it was causing a lot of problems with me and Cindy in our relationship. We were getting drunk, we were bored, we were living in Ibiza, and we'd go, and me and Cindy both don't have really that much control, so we'd go for 1 beer and it ends up being 10 beers, and then we have a big fight, and then we both wake up in the morning, don't remember why, and it was just so stupid. And we were literally doing this almost every day. And I was like, right, this is so toxic. This is so bad for both of us. We either need to break up or we both need to stop drinking alcohol. Cindy did a month sober in January, which was really good. And now that I don't drink anymore, I can control my emotions a lot more. I can control my thoughts. I can control my words that come out my mouth. So again, it causes way less problems in the relationship. Another thing that I found is that I turn up every single day now. I haven't had a day off since I've been sober. So I wake up every morning. I feel so fucking good every single day. I have such good energy when I wake up in the morning. I never wake up feeling bad. I never wake up feeling sad. I never wake up with anxiety. I don't have all the problems that I used to have. Like my landlord texted me being like, oh, Louis, when are you making the payment? Like I don't have all these people pestering me, like my brand's being like, Louis, when are you posting this? So everything is in order and everything is in control. I have no anxiety. Everything in my life is how it should be. It's going so well. So I wake up every single day. I haven't lost a single day of my life in the last 6 months, which is absolutely crazy. When I used to think back to Ibiza and I used to lose probably 4 days of the week, to be honest. I used to literally do the bare minimum 2 days a week and the rest would be parties. So it's crazy how much life I have now. And also I used to start drinking at 4 or 5 o'clock and that would be my whole evening gone. Whereas now I can go to the gym at 10:30 and then come home, cook, go to bed, even at 12 or 1, wake up at 8. And like, I've got like 3 times the length of day now that I don't drink alcohol anymore. And I can spend so much more time on my YouTube channel, on my business, on my Instagram, doing the things that I actually love. One thing that I've noticed is that as well as turning up every single day and not losing any days and feeling good every single day is obviously my physical change. So I'm no longer holding on to a load of water. My face is no longer bloated. My body is the best it's ever looked. Again, like I said, my mental health is the best it's ever been. But when people are drunk and they're in a bar and they're sitting and they're having these conversations, often they'll talk about doing things like booking a trip to go skiing or climbing a mountain or running a marathon or doing something, and they'll make these plans when they're drinking or having a few drinks, and the idea of it sounds so good at the time, but often you never actually do the thing that you say you're going to do. And one thing that I've noticed, I was always doing that on my YouTube channel and on Instagram, is telling you guys, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And everyone would always be like, Louis, what the hell? Why have you never done this? Or why have you never gotten in really good shape? Or why have you never run a marathon? And now a lot of you message me being like, Louis, I unsubscribed when you were in Ibiza. I think you were a bit lost and I wasn't gaining any value. Or I unsubscribed, I didn't follow you anymore because you were always saying you were going to do stuff and you never did. And now I've actually done all of that stuff. So I'm getting so many messages at the minute, which this makes me genuinely so happy, from people who doubted me and told me I needed to change my life, told me they were unfollowing. Those people are now coming back into my life and tell me, wow, Louis, I'm really impressed. You've really turned it around. I didn't think you had it in you. And like, I love proving people wrong. So I'm happy about that. But again, anything I say that I'm going to do, I go and do it. I'm going to Bali, I go to Bali. I'm going to run a marathon under 4 hours, I do it under 4 hours. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, I do it. Anything I say I'm going to do, I do. I'm going to change the Creator Club and make it a much better business, make it so much more valuable for everyone. I've done that. I do all the things that I say I'm going to do. And like, even again, the daily vlogs that I did in Madrid in February or March, I said I'm going to do a daily vlog and I did it every single day for a month. If I was drinking alcohol, there is just absolutely no way I would do the things that I say I was going to do. So that's been kind of my biggest take. I'm going to get Fabi now to ask me some few questions. That was an introduction. That introduction was 10 minutes. So, Fabi, you want to hit me with some cues?
Louis, are you worried about having your first drink?
Good question. Yes. I'm extremely nervous. I'm extremely excited to go to Ibiza. This is going to be my first time ever going to Ibiza for a vacation. Any of the times that I've been, of course, I went with Uncle Mike and that was a vacation, but I was still working for Uncle Mike. And any other times I've been in Ibiza, I've lived there. So this time I'm actually going after working my ass off for so long, and I'm going for 3 days to go in and out, to go let loose, enjoy myself, let some steam off. But the first drink is scaring me because I'm all or nothing. And that's part of my biggest problem, is that I struggle with balance. It's going to be unlikely that I'm just going to have 1 or 2 beers. It's probably going to be a few beers. So I know that there's not going to be me just having one drink. Like, and I know that the next day for sure I'm gonna wake up feeling bad. Like, I'm definitely not gonna wake up feeling good. So yeah, I'm nervous about it. Like, but again, this is what I'm going. I'm going to Ibiza to learn, to decide. This is gonna be my point where I decide, okay, I'm either cutting alcohol out my life for the next few years or forever, or I'm gonna allow myself to enjoy it a few times a year. So yeah, I'm nervous. I can't tell you guys how I'm gonna feel after my first drink. I might feel amazing. I might miss it so much, and it might enhance my whole trip so much. But I am nervous, and I can't tell you until I've had that first drink how I'm gonna feel, to be honest.
And what about peer pressure? How did you overcome it?
Okay, so this is a really good question. Me, Mike, and Rob actually talked about this on the podcast. So how do you overcome peer pressure from your friends when they're all drinking and you're not? First of all, find new friends. I'm very lucky. All my friends are pretty switched on. All my friends are absolutely killing it. And even the people who I'm starting to meet now, like Fabi, like Jake, the people in my creator club, all of those guys and girls are also on the same journey. They're not drinking. They're trying to improve their lives. So when you start hanging around with people who want to improve their lives and they don't want to go out on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go to the pub, stay out till 5 in the morning, do stuff that they regret, potentially stay up for the whole weekend in someone's kitchen. Once you start changing your friendship group, then it becomes so much easier because you realize, okay, these guys are just repeating these same habits, the same routine week in, week out. They work all week, Monday to Friday, and then when the weekend comes, they go and do that, like sit in Wetherspoons and drink like €2, like £2 pints. Like, once you realize that that's not part of the friendship group that you want to be in, that there is other ways to meet new people. You can go and travel, you can travel alone, you can join online communities, you can join run clubs, you can go to the gym and meet people in the gym. So don't feel like you need to be stuck with your friendship group if it's not benefiting you, if it's dragging you down. One thing that I found is that now that I'm 6 months sober, when I tell people, oh look, I'm almost 200 days sober, I don't want to break it, maybe when I get to 200 I might have a drink, that really helps. So if you're going for your first week or first 2 weeks, tell people that just tell a little lie and tell them, oh, I'm 2 or 3 months sober, so I'm trying to make it to 6 months. Or tell them I'm 9 months sober and I'm trying to make it for a year. And that way people will instantly respect you and they'll leave you alone. They're not going to keep trying to push you. And you can tell them, look, I don't want to drink because I was going on a downward spiral, it was ruining my life, and like, they don't need to know the truth. But if you say I'm 6 months in, or I'm 8 months in, or I'm 3 months in, I'm just trying to do this for as long as I possibly can, people will leave you alone and they'll respect you. And another thing is, now you can get a lot of alcohol-free beers in the UK and in Spain. So you can just literally drink one of them, like a placebo effect, like it is the placebo effect. You feel like you're having a beer, gets rid of the cravings. And also when you're on a night out or with friends or in a restaurant or something, you can drink a beer, just pour it into the glass, and no one's going to question you. And like, if you are on a night out, you don't have to tell people that you're sober. Like, obviously, don't go to parties sober and try and pick up drunk girls. Like, don't recommend that. Don't be that guy. But you can go to a party and ask for a glass for your beer, and you can get a non-alcoholic beer in a glass, and no one's ever going to know that you're not drunk. I mean, you'll be able to tolerate these people a lot less, but I honestly think it's easy. Do not let your friends peer pressure you into anything. I have never ever let my friends peer pressure me into anything. And if you have a valid reason and you're strong, you've got a strong mind, then you don't need to cave into peer pressure. There was definitely a few times at the start of my journey where I was tempted, and every day that passes I'm so happy that I didn't cave in just because my friends wanted me to.
That's a very interesting question. Would you have gone sober if you were single and not in a relationship?
Very good question. So I will have to give credit where credit is due. No, I would not have. It was Cindy who told me, Louis, you need to do this. I think it's going to be so good for you. Cindy's a strong woman. She's Latina. She's passionate, let's just say that. She kind of gave me an ultimatum, and I said, okay, fuck it. Let's both do this. And I did it. If I was single, I'd probably still be just messing around, being an idiot, to be honest. Like, so yeah, I wouldn't have changed.
But how would you say has going sober impacted your relationship? What is the big difference now?
in so many ways. Again, me and Cindy, our relationship is quite difficult because when I first met Cindy, she didn't speak any English and I didn't speak any Spanish, so we always have that kind of language barrier. Obviously there's a huge culture difference also. Cindy's from South America, I'm from England. We have very similar personalities and we are both quite fiery, and just discussions and arguments can get quite heated. But whenever we used to drink, we'd both kind of lose control and let our emotions get the better of us, and we'd react to each other. Whereas now, I'm way more in control of my emotions and my feelings, and I can control myself, and I go and step outside and take a breath, and I no longer react to whatever it is Cindy is telling me or annoying me, and it also works in the same way. I'm a lot more careful and thoughtful with what I say to Cindy and how I treat Cindy. So I think it's helped the relationship in that way. Also, we don't go out to parties every night like what we used to, and being inside that kind of party clubbing environment scene where Cindy knows everyone, I know everyone, Cindy gets jealous or I get jealous of boys or girls, or like being involved in that whole kind of circle of people in Ibiza is just, I think, very toxic and not very good for a relationship at all. So because me and Cindy have been going out a lot less and keeping ourselves to ourselves, especially in Bali, we didn't have any fights or arguments because we weren't being triggered by anyone else. Like, the majority of fights in a relationship come from nights out, or people being drunk, or lads going out with their friends, girls going out with their friends, and something happening, someone talking to someone. So again, cutting that out has helped the relationship dramatically. When I was with Cindy, when she met me, I was a party boy, and I didn't want to end the relationship knowing that Cindy had never got to see the best of me. She'd only seen the crazy party boy Louis, and I knew that's not who I was, and I wanted to kind of prove to Cindy, look, I'm something more than this person that you know. So yeah, it's helped in every way.
Has it affected your sex life or your performance?
My performance. Has it affected my sex life or my performance? I would say yes, it has. Obviously, when I was drinking all the time, I always had high sex drive. I mean, living in Ibiza, on the beach with Cindy, lots of sun, lots of temptation, and just good vibes every day. Like, my sex drive was always high, especially when I just met Cindy, like it always is in the start of a relationship. But I definitely think, I don't know, I would say if I got my testosterone levels measured when I was drinking every day, they would have been very, very low. And now I would say they're very, very high. Like, I've hardly been going to the gym, and I can put on muscle and size pretty fast. Sex life has been really good, yeah. Like, also it's weird because I think when people get into relationships and like get with girls, they think that being drunk increases confidence, and they think like the sex and stuff is better. But actually I think that's down to people's insecurities. People are a lot less insecure and shy when they're drunk, so they think sex is better and a little bit more crazy, but I actually don't think that that's the case. I think when you're sober, you can feel everything more, like the feelings are more real and true. I don't want to get into like too much bullshit, but I think it's definitely way better being sober, honestly. And people will find that so hard to believe, but when you try it sober and you have been sober for a matter of months and your testosterone levels are high, you feel like a man, you feel powerful, you feel like a lion. So I think it's good for performance. And I mean, maybe you don't last as long because you're not influenced by under the influence of alcohol, I don't know. But yeah, I would say it's definitely positive in terms of sex and performance.
You already talked about temptation. What to do if a hot Brazilian with a big bunda offers you a tequila shot?
Well, if I was single, of course I would take it, but seeing as I'm in a relationship with Cindy, I would not take it. And again, this is another example. You can't always give in to temptation. As fun as it is, as nice as it might be, you can't just say yes to everything. You have to have some control. And like, I don't care how beautiful the girl is. If she's offering me a drink and I'm sober, I'm not going to take it, no matter what. I don't care. Especially, I'm in a relationship with Cindy, so I wouldn't do that. But again, these scenarios happened in Ibiza where a girl would try and buy me a drink or buy me a shot, and Cindy's in the toilet and some girl's talking to me or whatever. The old me would have just took a shot from anyone. Like, if a girl's trying to buy me a drink, I'll just take one. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm confident that I love Cindy and I'm not interested in this girl buying me a drink. But now the new me is like, why would I ever offer a drink from a girl? Because I don't want a boy, when I'm in the toilet, I don't want a boy to buy my girlfriend a drink behind my back. Like, I have pride, and I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So now I have more control. I think more about my actions. If a girl wants to buy me a drink, I'll politely decline and say, no, sorry, I'm with my girlfriend, and that's that. So even if it's a Brazilian with a big bunda, the answer is no, I do not want a tequila shot.
Okay. How did you start? Did you just replace alcohol for alcohol-free, or just try and stop? Because many people are asking the stuff about the alcohol-free thing.
Yeah, it's a good question. So honestly, I'll just be completely honest. When I first started in Madrid, I moved from Ibiza to Madrid, which was, again, a crucial part was changing the environment. But in Spain, I've said this multiple times, people don't drink Cola Zeros or like white monsters like we do in the UK. People just drink cañas, like, which is a small beer. And I mean, it's hot, it's sunny, everyone loves drinking a beer in the sun, but like Spanish people just love drinking beers. Same as, I guess, people in the UK. But they also have a good selection of non-alcoholic beers. So I think when I first went sober, for the first couple of weeks, I was drinking a non-alcoholic beer every single night. And then after about 2 or 3 weeks, they kind of get a bit sickly. And if I ever had a craving for one, like when I'm in the garage, I often go out for drives in my car. I often, like whenever I'm out, if I see a non-alcoholic beer, I'll get one. I love the taste of beer. Beer is my favorite thing in the world. So I will just drink a non-alcoholic beer. And it hits exactly the same. Obviously, you don't get the kind of stress relief that you would from a normal beer. But the non-alcoholic beers is definitely an absolute game changer. And I would say that's one of the best ways to start on the non-alcoholic beers. Even my mum and dad, they often like to drink like me, and they started drinking the non-alcoholic beers as well. You can even get non-alcoholic wine. They started doing that, and it helped them so much. They did like 6 weeks sober. So, and if I can encourage my mum and dad to do it, then I think anyone can do it. But the non-alcoholic beers is honestly a game changer. The ones in Spain are better than the UK. Heineken 00 isn't the best. That's the worst one, probably. But then again, in Bali, they didn't have non-alcoholic beers. I didn't even need them. I didn't miss them. I was just drinking coconuts. Like, yeah, if there's a non-alcoholic beer available, I'll take it. But if there isn't, I don't need it. Especially now at this stage, this far down the line.
Do you have a recommendation for alcohol-free beer?
My recommendation for an alcoholic-free beer is Estrella Garcia 00, the blue one, Azul. They do a tostada as well, but I prefer just the normal Estrella Garcia 00.
How did you get over FOMO? Did you have it?
Oh, yes. So in the beginning, for the first couple of months, me and Cindy still went out in Madrid. Like, if my friend Camilo was playing in a club in Madrid, we'd go and see him. Honestly, once it got to like 2 or 3 a.m., I was so tired, so many drunk people, and I was just like, I honestly can't stand this. Like, being around drunk people at 4 a.m. when you're completely sober is just not the vibe. And the good thing is, I always just drive my car, so I can just go outside, get in my car, and go home, and Cindy comes with me. So I think fear of missing out, like, you think you're missing out until you actually go there, and then you're sober, and you realize, fuck, why am I staying here until 3 or 4 in the morning when I could just be in bed and waking up early tomorrow? Like, at least I'm not going to have a hangover, but still, like, there is no point. I honestly, like, it depends. If it's an event, if it's your favorite DJ in the world and you want to go and see them play, but just going out for the sake of it, thinking that you're missing out, you're actually not missing out on anything. I can guarantee it. And also, I'm very lucky because Mike lives in Dubai, Rob lives in Marbella. My best friends are kind of spread out all around the world. Again, most of my friends, even Ranbir and stuff, Joel was in Bali, Ranbir's in Dubai. They're like, when they're somewhere where I'm not, I don't really care about what they're doing. Like, if they're going to parties, I don't feel like I'm missing out. But if everyone's in Europe all the time and we were all in Ibiza and my friends were going out, I think it would definitely be a lot harder. And again, that's why we kind of scheduled this event for my birthday, because mine and Mike's birthdays are always like the peak moments of summer where we all come together, get the squad together, and we have those best moments. But again, now that I'm 6 months sober, I feel like I could celebrate my birthday in Ibiza and be sober. Like, I don't think I'm missing too much. I was just in Marbella 2 weeks ago with Rob and Mike. We all went for dinner. Everyone was having beers and drinks. Me and Mike didn't, and I didn't miss out on anything.
Now that you're sober, would you consider doing an OnlyFans?
Oh my God. No. I will never do an OnlyFans. So for those that keep asking, please stop asking. Thanks.
Do you ever feel like you have to avoid certain social events to avoid drinking?
No. Like, I mean, again, if you guys know me, you know how much I love black coffee, and you know how much I love Ibiza. And for me, I'm really looking forward to my birthday, but I'm really looking forward to go and see Black Coffee play in High, in my favorite club in the world, in my favorite place in the world, with my favorite DJ in the world, with my best friends. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to. It's not really that I'm so much looking forward to having a beer. It's that I'm looking forward to the whole kind of experience. And for anyone that knows Ibiza and knows parties and knows that type of music, they know that that type of event can be enhanced by certain stimulants. And that is more so what I'm looking forward to. Not just going to drink beers and get paralytic, like that's out of my system well and truly. So no.
Did you replace alcohol with any bad habits like bad eating, sweets, or anything else?
Did I replace alcohol with any other bad habits such as eating lots of sugar, cakes, whatever? Did I replace alcohol with anything else? The answer is yes. I started smoking cigarettes, and I smoke 30 cigarettes a day. No, I'm joking. But in the beginning, yes, because I was saving myself on so many calories, because I used to literally drink 5 pints a day, probably. Like, I used to drink like 8 or 9 canyas, which is a lot of calories. A canya is like a half pint, maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, I used to get really bad sweet cravings at night, go out and get ice cream, cinnamon rolls, cookies. I used to eat whatever I wanted, ice cream, because I was not drinking anymore, so I needed to kind of get that dopamine hit, I guess, from somewhere else. And that was fine with me. Like, honestly, I'd rather have a chocolate cookie than 4 or 5 beers. The cookie is going to cause way less problems, to be honest.
Are you afraid that you might go back to your old habits after Ibiza?
I think I can say with confidence I will not go back to the old way. And the reason for that is because I've had so much success in the new life that I've been living. So I don't ever want to go back to my old ways of drinking. If I want to drink, it's going to be, like I said, for one of those moments, 3 or 4 times a year. If it's a really special moment, I'm never going to go back to drinking every single week. I'm never going to go back to drinking every single day. I've seen how life can be without it, and it's so much more rewarding. It's a completely different life. So no, I'm not scared that I'll fall back into my own ways. Like, for sure, I'll probably have a few too many drinks this weekend in Ibiza, but I'm prepared for it. I'm not worried. I'm excited, and I've allowed time for me to go and enjoy myself, and I've also allowed time for me to recover and for me to get back into my routine. That's why after 3 days in Ibiza, I'm flying straight back to Madrid to get locked in again.
How long did it take you to notice any real differences?
I would say it took me a month. And the first difference that I noticed was my physique. Like, all the bloated and puffy fluffiness that I had started to go away. I was running, like, my performance, I was like, fuck, like, I can't, like, I used to look at myself in the mirror. This sounds weird, but I've actually listened to a good podcast with Mel Robbins saying that you should look at yourself in the mirror and actually look at yourself in the eyes and ask yourself questions like, who are you? But, like, I remember after the first month of looking at myself in the mirror and being like, wow, I'm almost unrecognizable. And yeah, I was like, fuck, this is pretty insane that I've made this much change in my life in just 1 month. So I would say the absolute minimum time, if you are going to cut out alcohol, the minimum time would be 1 month.
If you have to pick one, what was the biggest positive takeaway from going sober?
I would say just the amount of time that I have, just waking up every single day without ever feeling bad. Like, I literally haven't had stress. Well, I've had little bits of stress here and there, but I've never ever woke up with anxiety or any bad feelings or, fuck, what did I do last night? Like, I haven't woke up with that for 6 months. So I think that's the number one thing. Like, again, I'm sure most of you guys aren't like me, where you used to go out like a wrecking ball and just get fucked up in Ibiza and go crazy and go to parties for 3 days. Like, I'm sure you didn't live that life anyway. But for me, just waking up every single day and waking up feeling 100% to give the day my all every single day consistently is by far the best for me. Like, I keep telling people, it's like a superpower. It's like a cheat code to life, is just not losing any days. And again, this video is is aimed at people who do maybe drink a little bit too much, more than what they would like to. And for people in the UK, the drinking culture in the UK is a bit out of control, or has been in the past. And I think now people are kind of starting to switch on and change their ways.
But do you think you would have been able to go sober in the UK? So like without the warmer climates and the culture?
So originally me and Cindy were supposed to go to the UK for Christmas. Cindy made a mistake, so she didn't get her visa. And we were going to go for like a month of January, and I would have been meeting old friends at Christmas and going out and drinking for sure. That's what everyone does in the UK at Christmas, drink so much. And me and Cindy didn't go, and we couldn't go. And that was like, almost like it was supposed to happen. Like, I think it was a good thing. Like, I was obviously sad I didn't get to see my mum and dad and stuff for Christmas, but I think it was supposed to be that way. I think there was something like, okay, Lou, you need to stay in Madrid. You can't go home. You're not going to see your friends. You're not going to go and drink. Like, every Christmas, I used to wake up hungover as fuck, because on Christmas Eve, where I'm from, Whitley Bay, Newcastle, everyone goes out and gets super fucked up on Christmas Eve. And waking up this Christmas, not hungover for the first time ever in like 10 years, I was like, this is the best. And in the end, I was so happy I didn't get to go home for Christmas, because that was the pinnacle moment where I decided, right, I'm changing and I'm going all in on being sober. Would I find it more difficult in the UK? Sorry, I completely didn't answer the question. No, I don't think I would. Like, I don't want to go to parties in the UK. I don't care about the clubbing scene in the UK. It's honestly shit. I don't get tempted to go out in the UK. I think it's a complete waste of time. Whereas when I'm in Spain or I'm in Ibiza and the sun's shining, I'm on the beach, and then I'm going out to a party with my friends, there's far more temptation to drink and have a good time there. Whereas in the UK, I just wouldn't be tempted. Like, of course I used to like going to the pub and meeting my friends and having pints, but that just doesn't excite me at all.
Many boys are asking the same question. How should they handle to go sober to dates?
Very good question. Again, this is another thing. Everyone thinks that alcohol gives them this confidence, which it doesn't. I used to think the same. Like, to be fair, I used to have a few beers in Ibiza, and I would be able to go and talk to anyone and everyone, and that's how I made so many good connections in Ibiza, was just being able to talk. But I used to convince myself that I needed to have a few beers before I'd go and do that. Now, what I've realized is I've actually got way more confidence, because I'm in control of what's coming out my mouth. I'm not talking absolute shite. I'm not telling any little white lies or fibs or licking anyone's ass. I'm way more in control. I know who I am, and that actually gives me more confidence. So now, I'd probably have to think about it. If you told me, oh, Louis, go and introduce yourself to that person over there, they're successful, they're this person or that person, or like if I wasn't with Cindy and Cindy was at another table and I wanted to go and talk to Cindy because she was with all her friends, now I might have to sit and think about it for a couple of minutes and gather up the courage, but I'd still go and do it. Whereas in the past, I would have probably just had a few beers and just went over without even thinking about how I was presenting myself or what I was going to say, and probably the majority of the time looked like a bit of an idiot. Whereas now, my confidence is real confidence. It's not placebo, drunken confidence, which I think is a complete game changer. So if you go on a date with girls and you're not drinking, like, I don't think, like, again, depends the type of girl that you're going on a date with. I don't think she's going to judge you for not drinking. If she does, then I wouldn't waste your time with a girl like that. If anything, I think it's a good talking point, and I think it's respectable, to be honest. So you can also, if you do go on a date, have a non-alcoholic beer, have a non-alcoholic cocktail. The girl can still drink if she wants. And yeah, I think it's going to make the conversation a lot more intimate and real, to be honest.
You just talked about it, you met many people through alcohol. Did you lose any opportunities from not drinking?
I was actually thinking about this morning. So in Ibiza, I made lots of good friends, lots of good connections. And I also made a lot of kind of party friends who would just call me, Louis, are you coming out tonight? Or Louis, should we go out tonight? Should we go get fucked up tonight? And like, I used to be one of them guys. I used to be the guy that would be calling you up and be like, come on, let's go get fucked up tonight. And now I realize, like, that's not really the people that I want to be surrounded by. Like, yes, I made lots of good friends in the nightlife industry, in the nightlife scene, but what use is that to me now? Like, I don't want to be involved in that scene or go down that direction of life. I actually think it's quite fake and like just not a good environment to be in, to be honest. Everyone's, your customers and clients, everyone's drunk or on drugs. Like, it's not really the best scene to be in, I don't think. So my mind has massively changed on that. But now, when I've been sober, I've been making actual real connections and real relationships. So like my run club in Bali, I met so many amazing people because of that, who now I stay in touch with. And we met sober. We weren't calling each other up to go and get fucked up in Bali. We were going to go for a run at 7:30 in the morning and then have a coffee and have a deep chat after it, which those relationships now I cherish so much more, and they mean so much more to me than meeting someone to go and get fucked up in a nightclub. If anything, I've had better opportunities to meet better real people now without drinking alcohol, rather than, I don't know, it's hard because like in big businesses especially, like if people are taking clients out, they often go for dinner and they go for drinks, and it kind of breaks the ice. And for sure alcohol does do that. Alcohol will make everyone feel a little bit more relaxed and at ease. And again, alcohol is not all completely bad. It is a poison, it is a chemical, does have no like physical benefits at all, but again, it can be used for breaking the ice and it can be used to enhance social situations, and that's how I'm going to use it this weekend, because most of the best memories of my life have been under the influence of alcohol. Maybe not paralytic drunk, but most of my best moments and the funniest moments of my life have been when we've had a few beers and we're in Ibiza and having a good time. So again, I'm not hating on alcohol completely. It can be used as a tool in social situations. But again, in terms of actual opportunities and stuff, no, I don't think I've missed out on any at all. And I think the same opportunities, if not better ones, come from being sober.
A good question for the end. How hard was it, really?
How hard was it to go completely sober? There were certain times where I was extremely tested. And for example, there was a couple of times in Bali when all my friends were out, everyone was drinking, Cindy was drinking, and like we'd go to one party until like 2 or 3 a.m. and then everyone would be like, oh, let's go to the next party now. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, like I just want to go to bed. And again, it was my fault. There was nothing stopping me from going to bed. But I, again, had a kind of FOMO, fear of missing out, of everyone else is going to the next party until 5 a.m. I don't want them to go. Let's all just go home together. Like nothing good's going to happen in that club. Like I was trying to manipulate my friends and Cindy to not go because I didn't want to go. And there was times like that where I was like, fuck, maybe I should just have a drink and have a good time, because what's the point of this? And there was also times when Cindy would drink and I wouldn't drink, and then she almost has an energy from having 2 or 3 beers, and I try and tell her, look, I'm not in the mood. And she would tell me, oh, come on, stop being boring, blah, blah, blah. But like, if she was sober as well, she would understand how I felt. Yeah, there was time, and like, I can't tell Cindy to stop drinking. I can't tell my friends to stop drinking. I can't tell my parents to stop drinking. It's all on them. If they want to do it, it's up to them to decide that. But I would say there was 2 or 3 times where I was tempted and it was difficult. Definitely the first 2 weeks when you go from drinking alcohol every day to being sober, that was very hard in terms of, should I just have 1 beer and start tomorrow? Should I have 1 beer today and start tomorrow? Should I start on Monday? Should I start next week? That was kind of difficult. But once you get past those first 2 weeks, it's pretty easy. We've just had to turn the cameras back on, but Fabi had a question for me himself, and he said, what did he say, Fabi? Would I still be the same Louis without the previous Louis, the alcoholic Louis? And that's a really good question. Like, I don't have any regrets. Like, everything happens for a reason, and you learn the most from making mistakes, to be honest. And like, this has now become part of my story, and the reason it's become part of my story is because it's changed my life so much, and I know there's so many people who drink way too much, or they try to escape from their lives. Like, when I look at people as well now, and I try not to judge, but when I see rich guys who get like so fucked up and buy tables and pay for girls to come to their tables and just consume so much alcohol and go out to show off and like wear these watches and buy the bottles and do the champagne sprays, like, that is all bullshit. Like, that is all complete bullshit. The reason they're doing that, especially guys who do it alone, is because they're lacking something in their own lives. They're trying to escape from a deep sadness within. And rather than actually going to do the work to figure out why they are sad or what they're missing, they go out and flex, and they try and seek validation from all these other people in the club, from all these other people who are drunk and on drugs and who just want to be on his table because they want a free drink. That is what's so fucked up about partying and nightclubs and all of that stuff. Like, it makes me honestly feel so sad, because really what they need to do is not go to party and take drugs and drink alcohol and show off. They need to do some deep work within themselves. Maybe they've had success with their business and that's why they've got lots of money and that's why they can go out and show off. But they're only getting the attention from people who don't actually value them for that person, for the person they are themselves. So like, if you are trying to escape your life and you're drinking alcohol to basically so that you don't have to feel your real true emotions, which is what a lot of people do, and I think I was doing that at Ibiza too, is I was drinking alcohol so that I didn't have to think about my real problems or reflect on my life, so I didn't really have to think. Yeah, if you're trying to escape something or to numb your feelings, you need to just get sober, do some work on yourself, do some journaling, examine your life, and just, yeah, do some journaling, do some self-improvement work, read some books, go out for walks, do exercise, eat healthy, change your environment, change your friendship group, and do some work on yourself, because I guarantee it's often a lot easier to fix than what you could ever imagine. And the fact that I've done it in 6 months, again, I'm not trying to be like, wow, I deserve a medal or whatever, but I've done it in 6 months, so you guys can do the same. And I don't regret being the old way that I was. It was funny, like, for a while, but what I found is that I was always the one being the most drunk and everyone would be laughing at me, and I would be the one jumping off my balcony and breaking my foot, and then who's laughing at me then? No one. It's me who has to pay the consequences, and I don't want to be that guy anymore. So before we end, a couple of quick questions. I'll give us 5 more minutes. A lot of people ask me, do I crave an ice cold pint? Yes, of course. Like, same way that I would crave an ice cream or whatever else, or a pizza if I've been dieting. Like, of course I crave an ice cold beer, and I will be having an ice cold beer, and then I'll decide if I want to again have that in my life. But again, if I do have a craving, I can have a non-alcoholic one, and it hits the same, honestly. Another question that someone asked me, could I have 2 or 3 pints versus going completely cold turkey? So like, should I allow to have a few pints a week, or should I allow a little bit of alcohol in my life? But again, that depends on you. If you go out with your girlfriend, or fiance, wife, whoever, boyfriend, whoever it might be, and you want to have a glass of wine with dinner, of course, enjoy having a glass of wine at dinner. That's not going to do anything bad to you or to your relationship or to your life. That's completely fine. If you've been working your ass off all day and you want to go to the pub and sit in the beer garden because it's summer and have an ice cold pint, of course, that's fine. But if that 1 pint or that 1 glass of wine turns into 5 or 6 pints, and you're out till 4 in the morning and you're spending money that you don't have, or you're doing stuff that you don't remember, or you're blacking out, or you're getting shots, or you're losing your phone, or you're losing your wallet, like, or you're not turning up to work the next day, if you go down that spiral and that route, then I would say it's definitely better just to cut out alcohol altogether. But if you can have 1 drink once or twice a week, it's not going to do anything bad at all. So, of course, have some balance. That's the key. It's what me and Fabian have been talking about a lot recently, is balance is the absolute key. Fabi can have a glass of wine with his pasta when he's chilling on his rooftop in Valencia, and that's it. He has 1 glass of wine and he doesn't have anything else. Before, I would never have been able to do that. There was no chance that I could just have 1 pint and stop. If I had 1 pint, I am going to the moon, literally. So now, hopefully I can control it more. Final question. I'm sure if you guys have any questions, ask them in the comments and I'll answer them. I'll write them to you. Does it get boring? The answer is yes, it does get boring. 100% it gets boring. And it depends on what your life looks like. For me, I'm 31. My life is absolutely amazing. I couldn't be happier right now. I'm going to Ibiza, like I said, with my best friends this weekend, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to go and have a good time. I haven't enjoyed myself. Well, I have enjoyed myself. This is the thing. This is exactly the problem. What I just said there. I have enjoyed myself. I've been in Bali. I've been living the best life ever, and I haven't needed alcohol or nights out. So what I'm going to do this weekend with my friends is a completely different vibe and experience to going to Bali and going to a waterfall for the day, hiking to the waterfall, coming home, eating healthy food, going to bed early, sitting on the beach watching the stars. That's a different experience to what I'm going to do this weekend. They're both a good time. They're both a good experience. of course you can have a good time without alcohol, 100%. Fabi goes to parties all the time, doesn't drink any alcohol. Just depends on your personality. I'm going to Ibiza to let off some steam, to let loose, which I think people need to do every now and then, especially if you've been working hard. You need to just let go and have a day off. Sometimes people find it very difficult just to turn their brains off altogether. They can't stop working, they can't stop going on their phone or checking their emails. So I'm going this weekend to enjoy the music, to have a good time with my friends, and to turn off and to decide, is this something that I want to continue doing in my life or not? But of course you can have a good time. There's so many other amazing, beautiful things to do in life. In Bali, I wasn't tempted at all, apart from when I was a little bit annoyed when my friends were staying out till 5 in the morning. I wasn't tempted, other than that one time, at all to drink alcohol, because there's so many other things to do in life. Go surfing, go running, go hike a mountain, go to a waterfall, go to the beach. Like, there's so many other amazing things that you can be doing rather than drinking alcohol. And again, that comes down to your environment. So yeah, does it get boring? I mean, the answer is no. It doesn't get boring, but if all my friends are at a party and they're all drinking and laughing and being boisterous and being typically British on holiday in Spain, and I'm not drinking and I'm drinking a cerveza sin alcohol, then yes, it might be a little bit boring for me, especially because I'm going to probably get tired at like 12 or 1 and want to go to bed, and they're all going to go to a party and have a fun time. So it can be boring, but also try and look for other things in life to enjoy than just parties and alcohol and bars and pubs and clubs. There's so much more to life. But of course, having a few beers or a few espresso martinis and going on a send is very good fun. This is where we shall end the video. Thank you, Fabi, for the questions. I really appreciate it. This is the last video that I'll put out on this sober streak. I'm sure there'll be another sober streak to come. By the way, I might get to a beef and I might get the fear and decide not to have one. Probably not going to happen, but do not let this hinder your progress. I hope if you're on your sober journey, you don't use me as an excuse. I want you to continue going. I want you to stay strong. Try and do 6 months, try and do a year, and then make a decision for yourself. Thanks for watching. I want to say thank you to everyone who gave me all the nice feedback on the last video. Like, so many nice comments, and the feedback on YouTube has been amazing. So I just want to say thank you. All of your comments really mean the world to me, and I feel so fulfilled. I feel so happy, and I feel if I'm inspiring you to live a better life, which is what I'm trying to do now, then I hope you take my advice. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm trying to tell you guys so you don't make the same mistakes as me. And yeah, life is good. So thank you for all the positive comments, the love, the likes, watching my videos. It means the world to me. Thank you for all the messages on Instagram. Thank you to being surrounded by very amazing people like Fabi, like Jake, who was just here, like all my friends, all the people in the Creator Club, all the people in the Run Club in Bali, all the amazing people that have came into my life in the last 6 months. Thank you to all of you for supporting me. Thank you to my mum and dad, my parents, for also supporting me and telling me, Louis, well done. That you guys are the ones that inspired me to do this and kept me going. When I was getting messages from you every single day being like, Louis, I'm so impressed. You've inspired me to do it. That's what drives me. I get my energy from you guys, from the viewers, from my audience, from the subscribers, from the followers, from my friends. You guys give me the energy to keep going at this. If I didn't have a YouTube channel or I didn't have an Instagram page where you guys held me accountable, I probably wouldn't be in this position. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or if you're struggling with alcohol and you think it's ruining your life, send me a message on Instagram and I'll do my absolute best to help you. Thanks for watching.